What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the How To Tuesday. I'm Billy Perry. If you're not familiar with videos I've done before, go check out my personal channel right here. And if you're new to the FTL channel, check us out, subscribe, let us know what how-tos you'd like to see next. We already have a bunch done, but today I'm going to try and teach you guys how to do one of the most fundamental beginner BMX tricks. If you want to do lines, street lines, or any kind of skate park lines, the manual is the best trick to learn. You can pretty much link anything together, and we're in a parking lot right now, conveniently located next to my favorite skate park. So we're going to teach you how to do a manual where I learned how to manual, and then also at the skate park where some other people learn how to manual. But basically here we have lines that we could just practice getting our length and our balance. But for this trick, what you need, definitely need a helmet, because this trick is going to require a lot of looping out to learn. Finding your balance point, you're going to go back a lot and you're going to land on your feet, but just in case that one time you don't, you want to have a helmet on. If you guys aren't aware what a manual is, it's when you're riding down like this without pedaling, balancing, and a wheelie would be pedaling, but basically you're just using your legs to pump, keeping them straight, arms straight, and manually. One thing you might want to do before trying this trick is if you have back pegs, you might want to take them off, because when you loop out, in order to learn this trick, you have to know how to loop out. That's like one of the main things you need to know that I recommend doing, because there's no way you're going to find your balance point without learning how to bail backwards, because the balance point is the spot you feel the most comfortable with. It could be down here, it could be up here, it could be up here. Usually it's a happy medium, like right here. A lot of the times, if you pull up too hard, you're going to loop out. Something that I've noticed become a reoccurring thing in every how-to I've mentioned so far is you have to know which foot you're riding forward and which foot is more comfortable riding forward. Just down the block, bunny hopping, whatever. For me, it's my right foot forward. Some people it might be left foot forward. It really doesn't matter at all. It's just whatever you feel more comfortable. But the feet have to stay level. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You can't be like this. That's not gonna work in the manual. Like it's not gonna work in really any other trick. So just know which foot you ride comfortably forward, and then just make sure that you have level pedals as you're doing this trick. So when you're learning how to manual, you just want to get comfortable picking up your front wheel like this. It takes a lot of repetition and a lot of trial and error to find out that balance point that you're comfortable with. So my balance point, which I recommend is probably a good balance point for everybody else, is you have your arms locked straight back like that. You have your butt kind of over your back tire, and you're balancing with your knees. So let me show you. You may see other people doing manuals very steep. You don't have to do that. When you're straight up and down, your arms are probably like a dinosaur, like you're pulling in like a jet ski, you know? It's not the most comfortable balance point, and it's very unpredictable. So I'll show you what I mean. This is a don't of how to learn a manual. Do not have bent arms and straight legs, because then you'll do that all the time. And that's not a comfortable feeling, not a very good locked in point. If you have friends that can manual, go have a session with them in a parking lot and just see what they're doing. Ask them to do a couple manuals so you can get a better understanding, because you guys are watching me, but when you're riding with your friends, it's easier to learn. That's how I learned a lot of my tricks growing up, and how I still learn a lot of my tricks is if my friends are better than me and they're doing other tricks that I can't do, I just watch them, try and see what they're doing, and then try and apply it myself. But basically, like I said before, just get comfortable doing this. You have to get comfortable looping out and being comfortable. And if you throw your bike, it's fine. Just make sure you don't wash out on your butt or your back or your head. You definitely don't do that. So once you get comfortable looping out, the next point is trying to find the point of balance that is good for you. You want your arms to be locked straight. Good tension right here. You don't want to have bent arms. Lock straight, and a lot of it is your knees being bent and going in and out like this. And your butt will stay low, kind of over the back tire a little bit. You don't have to be too high or too low. You don't want to be down here. But you want a happy medium where you feel comfortable balancing. So when you see my knees going back and forth, finding my balance point, and my arms stayed straight the whole time, locked in. I stayed focused on going straight. I wasn't going to the left and to the right. You want to keep your arms straight and just balancing. Another thing a lot of people do, which will make it a little bit harder to learn, is they don't pick up enough. But when they pick up, they're not anticipating the balance point. So they'll just do a lot of this and then they'll drop it. It's because my arms are still bent and my knees are straight. When you have your arms straight and your knees bent, just riding with your front wheel on the ground, you'll have a better understanding of that balance point that you're looking for. When you're going at the manual, you do not want to just like start with your weight all the way back, because that's gonna happen. And it's kind of like you're gonna go into it, pull up the front wheel, so now you're comfortable pulling up the front wheel like this, and you're not trying to fall back. But once you start pulling up the front wheel is when you start dropping the weight back. It's gonna be a nice fluent motion of pulling up the front wheel and then shifting your weight back over the rear tire. If you don't shift your weight back, you're just gonna be stuck in this position like a dinosaur. Also not good. You guys may know I do not run brakes at all, no back brakes, no brakes anywhere. For some people, this may be a trick that you want to have brakes on just in case you go too far back and loop out. If you have brakes, you can be at a steep balance point right here and then just pull the brake and you fall down. But I would recommend not relying on brakes at all for this trick. Just rely on knowing how to loop out without falling back. Just put your feet down. Some people prefer to learn at a skate park, so I'm going to show you on a bank to bank. I know it's also a good way. I see a lot of kids at the skate park learning. They might not necessarily have their balance point yet, but you'll see them going up the bank and just kind of like holding it, and say the bank starts here and ends there, they'll make it across. And that's a really great way to get comfortable being locked on the back wheel, even if it's just for a little bit, because once you bring it to the streets, once you bring it to a parking lot, you'll pretty much have the fundamentals of holding it out for a long time. Even a little steep, like even a slight decline in the road, a little downhill, might help learn this trick, because you don't have to worry about going so fast to start. You just kind of let the hill take you down. And once you have forward manuals, the possibilities are endless. You could do bar manuals, manual bars, manual 180s, manual to any trick you could imagine. Fakie manuals, I'll show you a fakie manual. Fakie manuals are definitely a more advanced trick than a regular forwards manual, so if there's anybody out there who wants me to do a how-to on fakie manuals, I'll do that in the future too, but for now, we're sticking to regular manuals. As I mentioned before, we're at the skate park. This is another perfect setup to learn the manual on. Just like that. Let's see, is he gonna do the manual? Yup. A little lazy with it, but he had it. So it's the same thing, it's just a little bit easier to get into that balance point. I'll show you right here. Same concept applies as everything I've said before. It's just that this is the starting point and this is the end point. It might make it easier. It's not too long and it's a little short, but it might make it easier to have a little goal in mind when you're trying this trick. And just flowing through the skate park, let's see if he does it. Hit the manual, Jaden. Fire. Yep, it just gives you a nice little starting and finishing point to practice that little balance point, and repetition. Just go back and forth all day long on this if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of examples of the manual. Let's see, I'll do bar mani switch bar. That was the how to manual. Hopefully you guys took something away from it. If I missed anything, if you know how to manual and I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. And if anybody has any questions in the comments, leave them there. I'll try and answer. And if you see anybody with questions in the comments, please help them out, because there may be something I missed that, you know, somebody else might have a recommendation for. If you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel. Check out FTLBMX.com. All new clothes out now. We're running a giveaway now till September 24th. Not this bike here, but pretty much identical. Every $5 spent on the site is an entry to win the bike, and anybody can win anywhere in the world, so good luck. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram, BillyPerry631. And thanks for watching. Peace out, guys. I'm gonna do that.